live. Join the conference, it's gonna be lit. Curipod fam, you don't wanna miss it. In this digital age, we gather online. No need to travel, no waiting in line. From the comfort of home, our passion tastes like. Afraid we divide us, but our heart bars are right. Can't attend live, don't let it dismay. Plays on the way, just a click, no delay. Curicon, the future's awesome. We're writing, teaching, they both belong. Join the conference, it's gonna be lit. Curipod fam, you don't wanna miss it. So spread the word, let the assignment unfold. Curicon's the place for teachers, it's all one. In the realm of light, together we'll find. Our Curicon, let make the future come alive. Our sound, we're writing GG, they both belong.
Welcome back to Day 5, Session 3 of our final day of Curicon. I'm your host, Amanda Fox, and Curipod Community Manager. If you haven't gotten your bingo card posted yet on social media, it's not too late. So post it now to be entered to win an amazing swag bag. Make sure you use the hashtag Curicon Prize. Winners will be announced at 8 o'clock right after our last session. Now on to our next session. Educators, are you ready to revolutionize the way professional development is delivered in K-12 settings? Step into the future of teaching and training with Oscar Carrera. In this transformative session, Oscar is going to guide you through a redefined paradigm of deploying professional development, all thanks to the extraordinary power of Curipod's AI and interactive features. Get ready to unravel Curipod's innovative capabilities that pave the way for educators to experience professional development sessions like never before. Without further ado, I want to bring him up. Oscar, thank you for joining us.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me?
Good evening. Yeah, I hear
Yes.
you. Fantastic.
Awesome. It is such an excitement to be connecting. I've been looking forward to being live and connecting with the Curipod team, and obviously with our audience or our global audience. For those of you that are connecting in other parts of the world, I know I was gonna say like good evening, but it's like good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Buenos dias, buenas tardes, buenas noches. But I'm ready.
Absolutely. And with the replays, it could be any time of day, any place. So I don't want to keep you from starting any longer. So I'm going to go ahead and pull your slides up. I'm going to drop down and let you start rocking and rolling.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All righty. So again, thank you so much for joining us. In Texas, it's actually close to late afternoon or early evening. I know that in the messages throughout the different sessions happening within Curicon, I always write "Hello, Oscar from Texas." So that's the way I'm going to introduce myself today. Oscar from Texas. I am very active on Twitter X or X. You can look me up under @TechOscar. So just a little bit about me. I am actually a professional development consultant at Education Service Center Region 19 in El Paso, Texas. So shout out to my colleagues in at Education Service Center Region 19, and I provide professional development, technical support, technical services in the areas of instructional technology, college and career readiness, and career and technical education. Now, and I know we have a global audience, that way you can kind of have an idea where I'm located. You see the little map here, El Paso, states El Paso in bold. And then to the west, we have New Mexico, which is Las Cruces. Then a little bit to the south, we have Ciudad Juarez, Mexico. People know it around the world that's Ciudad Juarez or Ciudad Juarez, Chihuahua, Mexico, or Ciudad Juarez, Mexico. Now, if you see the Texas map there, just to kind of have an idea where El Paso is where that little red star is, where that little geographical area. And just to tell you, we're so unique in Texas that we have our own time zone. We're actually on Mountain Time. So the rest of Texas is Central Time, and El Paso runs on Mountain Time. So it's about 4:13 my time at the moment. And also, I'm in a final year of my doctoral studies at UTRGV, Go Vaqueros, and I am pursuing a doctorate degree in curriculum and instruction with a specialization in educational technology. So let's continue. All right. So you're probably asking yourself, why am I seeing a 3D burrito? To be exact, Mexican burrito. And it looks, just kind of by looking at it, it looks like a chicken fajita with sour cream, with cheese, with green and red bell peppers, and I guess a tortilla looks a little burnt, but overall it looks good. Now the fun fact is not that I love burritos, even though that is a reality. I love burritos, but the fun fact here it is. According to well-known folktale and ChatGPT, the Mexican burrito was invented, created in Ciudad Juarez, which is border city to us. And because of time's sake, I'm kind of pacing myself. I'm not going to read the whole story here, but again, according to well-known folktale, and I'm talking about, I heard this story from my grandmother. Even the Netflix series Taco Chronicles talks about how, this story about the burrito being born in Ciudad Juarez, Mexico. But as you could read the story here, back in the 1910s or 1920s, gentleman by the name of Juan Mendez ultimately created the burrito. So where am I going with this? Well, a few months ago, we had I'm sorry, and Jens visit us in El Paso, Texas. Now, they were so close to visiting the land where the burrito was invented. And to be exact, they were about a 10 to 15-minute drive from Ciudad Juarez, Mexico. But nevertheless, they still got to experience authentic Mexican food at this restaurant who actually started in Ciudad Juarez, Mexico. And just a side note, the person on the left to Jens, that's not me, okay? That is an old school mariachi holding a beer, I think, and holding a taco or a burrito. And they put them in some sort of tree trunk, just to make the story clear. But again, Jens and Iric were that close of visiting the land where the burrito was first invented. However, even though they did not have a authentic Mexican burrito from Ciudad Juarez, they did settle for a parrillada. And just to kind of put it into perspective with our friends that never had an opportunity for a parrillada, can y'all hear me? Okay, all right. I'm gonna continue just to put it into perspective. What a parrillada is, it's like
We Everyone can hear you. Just
yes.
FYI.
Okay, thank you. Just to put it into perspective, it's like if you go to Chili's and you get the chicken or the steak fajitas, they bring it in a skillet and it's sizzling, but this skillet is like 3 times as large, and it's rather long, and it has all sorts of meat. It has green chilies, it has grilled onions, grilled jalapenos, melted cheese, and you can see all the baked potatoes, tostadas, the whole shebang. But again, I wanted to share that story with you. All right. So I have a whole story behind this, but because of time's sake, I'm just gonna give you like just the quick behind the scenes on this. One time I was with my daughter, and all of a sudden she's like, "Dad, could I tell you a joke?" What do you call a bystander who sees a robbery unfold inside an Apple store? Think about that one. Feel free to add it to the chat. Are y'all ready? I know it's been a long day. You call that person an eyewitness. I know. Oh, there we go. I watch. Oh, that's a good one. I didn't think about that one. But you call that person an eyewitness. All right. So again, I just wanted to open up the presentation with this fun fact and this awesome joke. That way you could kick off your Friday evening. Again, for most of us here within uh, Pacific, Mountain, or Central Time. So going back to the presentation, this is the title of the presentation: Amplifying PD, Leveraging Curipod's AI and Interactive Features. And to set the stage of this presentation, I'm going to share two articles. The first article, by the way, I'm a huge fan of Ed Week. I'm actually a member of Ed Week and I love reading their content. And one of my favorite contributors is Larry Ferlazzo. He's been a contributor for so many years, and his articles are just awesome. The way he kind of sometimes writes his articles is he creates like this thought-provoking question, and then he reaches out to professionals who are involved in the world of education. And we're talking about from teachers in the classroom, administrator, retired teachers, uh, PhDs, professors, you name it. And he interviews these individuals based on that thought-provoking question, and then he writes his article. So, focusing again, setting the stage for this presentation, looking at this, the title of this specific article, which is from March of last year, starts by the importance of learner centered professional development. Again, I'm setting the stage. Now, focusing at in the bottom, just real quick, it's an excerpt from this article reads, "Thus, professional development is most impactful if it allows educators to play an active role in learning. Passive professional development experiences do not tap into the most potent constructivist learning needed to develop deeper conceptual understanding from professional development experiences." And again, this is one of the interviewees, Pat Brown. And actually, I love the fact that Ed Week, their online, their website, they create this awesome graphic. As you could see, I didn't create this graphic. Actually, it's in this article where they really push out those impactful statements. And as you could read that impactful statement, says professional development is most impactful if it allows educators to play an active role in learning. Again, the key word here is active role. Now, stay with me here. Continuing with this same article, again, another interviewee, it talks about we learn by doing. And the little excerpt on this article reads, "Finally, we learn by doing. All presentations were demonstrations, lessons where the teacher participants experience the strategies and moves by the teacher presenter. This is far different from a sit and get presentation." Now, what this is, this little excerpt is talking about, and again, this session is focusing from the lens of educators who provide professional development. Either, I know we have some teachers with us today that are connected that provide professional development, maybe within your campus or maybe within your district. And again, I know we also have professionals that's what they do. They're consultants, they provide professional development. But going back to this article, a keyword here is we learn by doing. And in my terms, I love to call it this is where we get our hands dirty, where you're providing a professional development and you start getting your hands dirty with what you are learning throughout this or professional development session. Now, following on this next article, which is the second article, and the title reads Want Successful Professional Development? Try Promoting Curiosity. Again, this is another article. As a matter of fact, one of the things that Larry Ferlazzo, this contributing author, does, he likes to have like different like 3-part series, 4-part series, or 5-part series of different articles within the same topic. And as you could read in the bottom, it states supportive of professional curiosity. Curiosity is essential for effective learning to occur. Yet, traditional PD models skip it entirely. Just like students, teachers need opportunities to ask such questions of each other as what do we need to improve? Then it talks about like other questions. Now, you're probably seeing my screen and you're like wondering what in the world is a picture of an onion doing here? Now, again, we're looking at this session as far as looking at Curipod from a professional development lens. And, side note, I love the fact that Curipod, when you use Magic AI, they have an option, you go through first, second, third, uh, all the way down to 12th grade, then you see that option, professional development. I love that. But going back to this, looking at the onion, and I'll share a quick story. I was probably about around 5, 6, or 7. I remember walking to the kitchen and seeing a white ball. And again, we're talking about I was 5, 6, 7, give or take, maybe younger, but nevertheless. And I remember holding or getting the onion and holding it. And, as a little kid, little boy, I love baseballs. I love playing with baseballs. And I remember start peeling it. I felt a little kind of like the paperish texture. I peeled it. Then I peeled it more. Then I peeled it more. And I think by the third or fourth peeled, I was crying. And then there were green things coming out of my nose. It was a disaster. And I remember my mom saying, Mijo, ¿qué pasa? Mijo, what? Like, in other words, son, what is going on? Well, obviously, I was peeling and then I was crying. I was, scrubbing my eyes and I was crying more. And it's because I got curious. I wanted to see what was in the middle of that onion. And kind of bringing that story to this is that part of professional development, we need to ignite that curiosity within our audience. Again, I know we have teachers here that provide professional development because once you ignite or you spark that curiosity within a training, a professional development, they're going to be curious not only during your professional development session, but they're going to get curious the following day. They're going to get curious the following week. They're going to get curious the following month, the following years, and ultimately be long life learners. And as a matter of fact, this is what happened with Curipod. When I first heard about Curipod, I got curious. I'm like, there's a lot, and I think it was like back in February of this year. and I started peeling the onion. I started getting familiar with the platform, and lo and behold, October 27th, I'm presenting on Curipod. And why? Because that spark of curiosity was activated. And as a matter of fact, it was activated because somebody had shared the link. I clicked on it on social media, and I just kind of started, again, peeling that onion with Curipod. So, again, setting the stage, what are the three experiences here as I'm discussing this article? We're talking about when it comes to professional development, the learner, in other words, the trainee, your audience, or that educator who's sitting on that conference room with you or who is connecting on your virtual session, they need to have an active role. They need to learn by doing, and you have to be able to spark that curiosity. Now, I'm super excited that we're in Curicon and we have had amazing presenters. And the common denominator here is that Curipod has the potential to make this happen. If you are providing a professional development session to any K 12 educators. Again, I'll say that again, and I'll show you. I'll go a little bit deeper in just a minute. I'm kind of pacing myself. Again, Curipod has the potential to create these critical learning experiences for K 12 educators, where your audience is playing an active role, learn by doing, and they spark curiosity. Now, looking at the awesome features that Curipod has to offer, it's just amazing. And I'm going to give you just again, very, uh, I wish I could go deeper, but I know I'm time, but I'm going to give you some examples. One of my best experiences, when I provide professional development is when I get to be with first year teachers. And I'm not sure if I'm the only one, but in my experience, when I was a first year teacher, it was chaotic. I I needed help. I mean, if it was not for my first year teaching, I honestly think I would have left the profession. But thankfully, I had an awesome mentor who guided me and who really provided that support. Now, kind of giving you a little scenario here, looking at it from an active role and, again, the scenario of providing professional development to first year teachers. How does Curipod play a critical role in making sure that there's an active role of your audience? A perfect example is, for example, the poll question. If you all remember, and I think I mean, it's been created for so many years. I'm not sure if you ever use like poll everywhere. And it's a great platform. I no longer use it, but poll everywhere. I think it was created back in 2005, 2006, 2007. It's been around for a long time. But I'll tell you, I love that platform. Why? Because as a presenter, you really had the opportunity to engage your audience in playing an active role. And lo and behold, Curipod has that awesome feature. As a matter of fact, as a first year educator, and I'm gonna think I have a little bit more time here. Let me see, 4:33. Okay. Let me see if it's this one here. Classroom management activity, learn by doing. I think it's this one here. And I'm not going to go through the whole motion, but talking about the poll question feature, this is where you could give that opportunity for educators to really play an active role. This is where you have that opportunity to really start those critical conversations where educators are playing an active role. And again, this is just a quick scenario, an example. What's the optimal number of class rules expectations to set? 5, 10, or no set number. Talking about and again, this is just one feature. I mean, if we go back here to the presentation, it's a plethora of different features that Curipod has to play that active role. Now, learn by doing. Focusing on this and reflecting on, getting your hands dirty. How does Curipod really provide that opportunity of that learn by doing? I'll tell you something. Reflecting I remember as a first year teacher, I remember hearing all these terms. You got to implement educated instruction. You have to make sure that you understand the different classroom management techniques. You have to make sure the different student engagement techniques. You have to make sure that you know how to implement different formative assessment strategies. And one example here is the explain it to me like I'm five. And kind of going back here, starting just super quick, creating a lesson. And again, getting your hands dirty, you learn by doing. What if I was in this scenario where I'm providing professional development to first year teachers, and we're talking about these critical topics? And then what if, little Oscar here is super confused because he wants to know more about what exactly is differentiated instruction. And I tell you something, I remember that was the daily preaching of my principal back then. You got to implement differentiated instruction. You have to implement differentiated instruction. Well, lucky me, I have CarePod where it has the potential as the learner, the trainee, to provide those opportunities where not only am I learning what differentiated instruction is all about, but this is where you, as a trainer or professional development consultant, could build critical conversations based on these slides. And you never know. Maybe if you have 10 new teachers and you let them know we're going to use that feature where, explain it to me like on five, everybody go ahead and input differentiated instruction and let's talk about what it provides to you. It might be different, but again, perfect opportunities where your audience or your training attendees are really getting their hands dirty not only with the technology or working with AI, but they're also creating learning experiences and reading content, sharing out through a collaborative effort. So again, another amazing opportunity. Last but not least, spark curiosity. Talking about, I am blessed to be able to work with different school districts throughout my region, and I'm blessed to talk to teachers almost every day or administrators. And yes, we still have some teachers that have not gotten to experience the power of artificial intelligence. What a way to spark curiosity by presenting CarePod as an amazing platform for them to learn about the power of artificial intelligence. With that being said, CarePod has the potential to really be your go-to tool if you want your audience, your attendees, your K-12 educators who are sitting in your training sessions, who are sitting in your professional development sessions to play an active role, to learn by doing, and to spark curiosity. And I'll end with this. This is the reason why I love, because it gets me to kind of ponder around some of these main ideas of these articles from Ed Week. And again, I'm not promoting Ed Week, but they're just amazing. Look at this. I'll end with this. The bottom excerpt reads, we learn about Google Documents and created beautiful digital stories throughout the Institute, along with being introduced to other digital tools. Hey, you never know. Maybe those other digital tools included Curipod. But as I'm continuing here, check this out. For me, it was the best professional development because it lit my teaching fire again. I had renewed passion for what I wanted to do with my students. Amazing. When you could provide professional development and you implement these three critical experiences by using an amazing platform, you have the potential to lit that teaching fire for educators. So, with that being said, thank you very much. I know it was a short presentation, but I just wanted to get that message across that CarePod has that potential to provide those learning experiences when you're providing professional development. If you want to follow me, I am under EdTech Oscar. And again, there's a quick picture of Jens and Eric. They were here in El Paso a few months ago, and we just had an amazing opportunity. What an amazing week it's been. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, Amanda, Eric, Jens, Freak, and the whole CarePod team. It has been an amazing week. I kind of, next week on Monday, I'll be like, oh man, I miss Curicon. I miss my family. Thank you. Back to you, Christy.
Oscar, it was so amazing. All of your insights. I mean, I can definitely say it lit my teaching fire. That was amazing. I love all of the energy that you bring and the ideas that can be implemented. And I really think that you just made such a core point that Curipod in the hands of curious teachers can transform classrooms everywhere. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you very much. Y'all have a great weekend.
All right. I'll see you guys in the next session.